Too, for the new players that many of the larger corporations they will eventually join have, shall we call it, colorful cultures.
Right.
And I would recommend using it as a learning opportunity. And also, yeah. I know I saw another question over here somewhere. Where was it? Raise your hand.
Who? Also, has anyone not got a beer?
Yeah, there's too many beers left.
Yeah.
Come on, guys, I can
Still drunk from last night. Or vodka here.
Yeah, there's vodka as well. Help yourself.
I thought you said it was water.
Water. It's secure, yeah.
So guys, just one thing. Just in history, has anyone ever hijacked an NPSI fleet to fight their wars?
Yes.
Anything? How would you stop that?
pay more than they do.
Never knocked
Oh, no, not pay. Basically, they just go in as FC and go fight where they want to fight rather than where the community wants to fight.
So this is a bit of a tricky subject. On one side, we don't want people using NPSI community as a personal army. You know, because there's a whole bunch of reasons I won't get into. On the other hand,
The exceptions probably.
yeah, and if they know of a timer that will end up with a fight, and it's the type of fights that people enjoy, then that's not something that we should, shy away from for some arbitrary moral principle. If they know that there is an R64 coming out, and even though it's their R64, if they know there's going to be a fight, and they get a fight over that moon, then we kind of turn a blind eye to it. This is a lot more of an issue during the old soft system, where people would try and make these NPSI fleets to get extra DPS just to grind. But we technically don't allow personal army use of NPSI communities, but we'll definitely turn a blind eye if they're using it in such a way that the community enjoys and doesn't fight, even if it doesn't happen to benefit the FC one.
Yeah, Gary's had that a couple of times, not directly the FC using it as personal armies, but me as FC having friends in the wider environment contact me and ask, hey, we've got some big heads camping the boss. Are you nearby? Do you want to run your fleet over and see what will happen? And I did that a few times. Always got fights. It wasn't like we just went over and people were, like quick cockroaches run away.
Yeah, you have to look for every source of content that you can, because people don't like to wait around. They like to join the fleet, fight, win, explode, die, do it again. And you use whatever method you can to find those fights as quickly as you can. If somebody has secret intel because they're in a group, you need to take what you can get.
I may or may not have accepted a contract of $5 billion worth of pre-fit T1 frigates for our nuclear room in exchange for just kind of accidentally taking something.
I got a last question.
Yeah.
Do the NPSI rooms have doctrine requirements usually, or is it just mostly kitchen sink?
Each group it's up to ultimately it's the SC's prerogative, but each group tends to have like kind of an overarching approach to it. Like in Redemption, we pick a maximum hull size and a preferred hull type. So it might be, for this room, it's going to be, our preferred hull is Oman Navy issues. Don't bring anything larger than a cruiser and below.
Like the Moose House stars, we have like this month we're doing harpies and frigates, and we have all our doctrines we're going to eventually fly all the way up to serbs. Maybe one day we'll go up to Slippery Keys, but as a new bro we have said for all you do is fly attack one frigate, attack the frigate. So we have a full doctrine spectrum because we know as we go larger, more and more people go in this community filling that doctrine. It's all shield, it's all Caldari all the way up. It's a very easy transition for everybody.
And we also have no sponsorship programs, because like I said,
Do you two want to come up there as well? Going back to your question about doctrines, basically the way Redemption does it is how Gantt used to do it. Literally, I decide, right, we're going to apply X size hulls. Or I'd say we're going to apply very specific hulls, like Chloraxes, because everyone wants to play the shape ships. So. But over time, especially as Gantt got larger, and the fights we were getting into were a lot more ridiculous. We realised that we had to start changing things up. We had to go with more unified setups. We had to go with logistics, e-war. We had to do things a bit better than we were doing. I mean, we were doing fine before that, but once we actually moved into doctrines, everything took on a whole new level. The first time we really rolled out an absolutely solid doctrine was the Eagles Fleet of the Year in 2014. We took Eagles, mowers, vultures, feroxes out, got in like a 5-way fight with CBA, some Russians, PL, and a couple of other groups that just kept pinging in and out, and that fight went on for a good chunk of time, and we were just sat in the middle of it, blacking everything. 2.5 hours.
Yeah, and
We came away from that fight, and everyone was just floored by how well we'd done when we were looking back at like previous fights, like the week before, the week before that, where we'd gone out and shit it.
So unless I'm wrong, that was Gang 120, and at that point, it was a huge deal that we were running Tech 2 polls in NPSI. We had put opinion polls out, you know, we always wanted to have the NPSI will be accessible to everyone. So our max had always, for the longest time, the T1 cruisers with T1 logistics, and this is right after the Logi polls had been rebalanced. So you could actually form a pretty decent fleet for extremely cheap. And the introduction of T2 hulls, Gang 120 with Eagles, was a huge paradigm shift for us, because we're saying, okay, now we expect you to fork over, you know, 200 million to participate in one of these runs. That was a big deal. But as we found out, and we keep finding out, you know, people will pay because you can do so much more with a proper doctrine, and you can win fights, and winning is fun. People want to be a part of these fleets, experience these fights that they can't find anywhere else. And yeah, the only way you can have that is by having a proper, built-up doctrine.
They get way more
Wait,
players
wait,
when
wait.
you lose.
So, how do we get away from, because I'm big on, if I want to find out solution, I don't care what everybody else is finding, that's what I want to find. What needs to happen culturally to change to where I want to go fly what I want to fly?
So
I know it's game mechanics, but I think the game would be more interesting if everybody would fly what they wanted to fly, instead of all like Ishtar, 220, whatever.
So,
Are you interested in FCing?
yeah.
Been there, done that, but I've always wanted to change the
That's
culture.
your first choice, is understand as, I'm both the NPSI FCM, also a block FC. I hear that all the time from my alliance members, we own Saab and all that. You can do that, and when you show up with 100 people in a ship fit, and you're getting dunked left, right, and center every week,
It's gonna get old very quick.
No, I understand that, but what I'm saying is, we have to figure out as a community, how do we change the culture to where both sides are bringing kitchen sinkly? So it would be more interesting.
Logi is gonna be a nightmare.
It comes
Right,
down,
but it would be more interesting.
it comes down to this, is as an FC, and I'm sure the rest of the FCs, we want to win. We want to blow stuff up. And I'm going to do things, and they're going to do things to make sure their fleets are as successful as possible. That means I'm bringing Logi, I'm bringing E-War, I have DPS, I have Tackle, I'm doing things to make sure I win. Yes, there are times where, hey, full-on kitchen ship brawl is a fun time. But next thing, second you, I go from your kitchen ship fleet, I run PL T3s, I run a 5-block nav block fleet, and we get done in under a minute, and no one's having fun anymore.
Yeah, and we're talking about success of the fleet here, but that's not really the point. You know, like going back to the feedback form, I can have the worst FC in the world, and I know exactly what I'm thinking. He's a he's terrible. But on his feedback forms, everybody loves him. He's hilarious. He's a ride on comms. You know, everybody enjoys flying with him, even if he gets involved entirely. So the point isn't that we're trying to become a group that wins every fight as long as we don't give a shit. As long as people enjoy being in the fight, that's what matters to me. And with the doctrine side, it's not just the doctrine is more successful. It's that when you win a fight, and you win a fight being a part of a team that works cohesively, that's a really gratifying feeling you can walk away from. When DPS has launched, you saved me 2% structure, and you're a member of logistics, you're like, fuck yeah, guys. I've never met you before you today, we kick some serious ass. That's fun. That's fun. Win, lose, if you're working as a team in these really interesting, fun, fast, big engagements, that's the reason we use doctrines, instead of just, oh, I drunk yay, you exploded. Nah, you accomplished something. It was hard. You did. It was awesome.
So, I want to kind of like extend a little bit about NPSI is not necessarily just pew-pew. There are believe it or not. There are NPSI groups that just do a special event once a year, like on Christmas, for example. There are NPSI groups that I'm going to give a shout out to a new one right now, Onslaughter, if you would, who is specifically designing an NPSI group for, well, I can't say the word because it like makes me shiver.
It's not what you actually, well, it is.
It's PPE.
We're
the reason why I'm supporting this is because it's targets.
So I'm one of Redemption Rome's like lead FCs for their PvP fleets. I enjoy it. I like flying, setup doctrines, but I'm also, very invested in the game, the lore, and all that stuff. And so my friend Makoto came to me wanting to know if I wanted to join him in raiding drifter hives, and I said, you know what, this is a great thing. I don't like drifters for some reason. I honestly can't explain it. I just want to smash them into dust. Yeah, exactly, right? Fuck the drifters. Anyway, so I said, you know what? Let's invite everyone. Let's just invite everyone. And so we're inviting everyone. You're all welcome to come raid drifter hives, steal their shiny bits. Those rare element things that no one seems to be able to get their hands on because no one sells them. So if you want shiny little bits and like explore the drifter hives with us, we're going to go do it on the 31st. It's a Halloween thing. So.
Who's spook?
Huh?
Who's spook?
What?
Get out of here.
What? What'd you say, ma'am?
Too
spooky for me. No, I'm PvP.
He is, come on.
I'm PvP, right? But that's.
You said you're doing PvE.
No, I am, because drifters fill this awesome.
Don't cry.
Drifters don't cry. But you do. So it's. The premise is it's something fun that we can do together, and I don't know if it's for everyone, but I want to try it because if it's a niche, right? Like it's gonna be filled, right? Someone's gonna do it, and it's gonna be fun either way. Yeah, we'll get drunk. I mean, some of us will die. There will be prizes. I mean, whatever.
Okay, just going with the PvE theme, are you gonna just limit it to just drifters, or are you gonna do?
I have no idea where this will go.
Activities?
Yeah, no, we might.
At this,
Let's build a Titan, let's all go together.
I mean,
drink wine all
I don't know if any of you were there for the PvE roundtable,
No.
but apparently there are going to be drifter capitals. So that's a thing.
Drifter logistics, drifter lodging.
Yeah.
Drifter getting a full ship.
What is the name of your new group?
Consortium operations is the channel of the game, so we just go by the moniker of the consortium. Check it out on the list. Thank you.
I'm sure you printed out flyers to pass out for this Halloween fest.
No, not really. At this point, I'm actually kind of scared because from what I know of the drifter hives, we may show up with a force that just curb stomps them entirely. So I'm a little worried. I may be overdoing the hype, but.
The flip side is like they're going to keep doing these raids until basically everyone gets their fill of killing drifters.
Did you just say raids?
Yeah, they're
Get out.
What, Robbie?
So we're gonna primary the Dom.
Oh, at least I got it.
I know.
That again.
All right, I know I saw another hand. Where did it go? Oh, there it is.
So, basically, where is the general meeting point for all y'all to do this, or is it just anywhere?
So if we try and meet near trade hubs because the doctrines change.
So action.
Not heck is it?
I use Hackett, well, I used to use Hackett occasionally. And yes, it is a shitty fucking trade,
So
but I would use it occasionally. Don't say everyone's rent.
So how most of our fleets will work is, so for those of you who have never participated in NPSI, we advertise our fleets through our channel message of the day. So it'll give you an FC's name, a location, which it will say, for example, Jane is FCing from a MAR at 1700, and then you'd be in a MAR at 1700, and then when you join the fleet, you'd be given the doctrine, and then the actual staging system, which would be 5-6 trucks from a MAR. So you can ship and then move out, but we normally have to start the trade hubs, because we move around so often, we don't have any staged ships, the logistics of trying to move ships in advance, when you buy contracts, you buy too few, too many, we just say, bucket, buy your own ships from the trade hub, we'll move out from there, so.
And see, and I always found that a real pain in the ass back when I used to fly with Kenny before I started redemption rooms. So I made it a point of picking a home base for us. All of our rooms run out of Burden. And over time, the regulars have actually built up a mini market there. And we may use there to go someplace or something, but we decided we would always have it from the same place. Every Sunday at 2000, by the way.
But kind of, I mean, I think answering your question more directly, the in-game channels are always going to be your easiest form. So if any of you have ever watched, Mark and Dragon, Chronic Gamer TV, Miss Meg rap about it, we all use the same in-game channel live shows. I'm not sure if any of you guys are in there. And that's typically where we'll say, all right, X up, if you guys are looking to complete, we base just out of, from Omar and Apple. We'll typically go down, out of 10 or something like that. But I think that's going to be always your basic, way of getting fleet participation. So.
Go ahead.
I assume you guys use comms or something like that. You don't just type in chat, bubble up.
There we go. Every one of us, I'm sure, has their basic ones covered, mumble, PG, and those are pretty much standard for everything there. And when you join it, most of our comms for these setups with NPSI, there's no password. You're not going to like any of our private channels, but you're going to come in like, okay, you come to Moose Bank, boom, you're in the Moose South Fleet channel. Everyone, there's no password. You just put your name and then get dragged.
Yeah, we have a 512 man TeamSpeak server, and we have a lot of, we probably have 8 or 9 different streamers that are all part of what we call the Moose House. So we have basically the top half of the TeamSpeak is all public channels for whatever you want to do, and then the bottom half is all the different individual streamer sections, which are all authentication, protected. Everyone just can't jump in there. Then different ports and things like that. So that's how you keep it separate.
These comms aren't secure.
Oh, God, no.
Yeah. Never done spies.
We actually really like spies because they bring us tight.
Never done spies.
Or people that are in your fleet but is giving advice on the other fleet or recommend.
Or people who are on our fleet that drop out like to sign up so we can drop.
I used to have conversations with FCs of other fleets, always indirectly,
All the time.
with the spy comms. And literally, I'd be talking to the spy, and then indirectly, the other side's FC would be lying to me, either by a local, or the spy would be whispering me on Mumble.
That happens.
It was just great fun.
I'm off
We
the
also
chat.
used it all the time.
Go ahead.
I've got a question about the FC's mentality, because I've been on 3 Spectre fleets so far, and 2 of those ended in total wipes after we jumped into a fight we should have taken.
Did
the FC say it forward?
Yeah, that's the problem. It's content versus, this is suicide.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that really fair on the FC, and is that fair on members of the fleet?
So you're asking whether FC should just be welcoming into superior forces? Is that the question?
No, I'm asking there's a lot of pressure on the FC to find content,
Yeah.
and they find a fight. Should they take it, even though they're going to die?
So normally, yes.
As the board has been running for 3 hours and you've only killed a shot of your
Sort of
face.
take this as somebody who basically literally used to do that with my I know I fucked up a language. Like 8 weeks in today.
Catch up.
By the way, there's still too much alcohol.
Somebody Gary, when it first started off, would literally I'm self-conscious over that word now. But yeah, Gangs would take, I'm that one. Gangs would take any fight, regardless of whether we win or lose, because usually we were in shit ships, low cost, no expensive clones, we didn't have anything to worry about apart from, right, we have another ship ready to come back out later. So we would jump into practically anything we wanted. Take as much down with us as we could before we were overwhelmed by better tactics, better ships, better FCs, all of that. But then, over time, as an FC, you actually get tired of doing that. You have fleets that don't mind it. I have fleet members that I know if I was FCing, in a couple of days and come back, these same people would join my fleets and they'd expect to die, whereas everyone else is already trained. We're going to win, aren't we? So over time, as an FC, you get tired of fucking losing like that. You want to take on these better tactics, better people with the same sort of setups than with.
That's all curious fleets.
It's all about the content. I mean, you have to measure the content versus, whether you're going to you can lead a fleet in that you know is going to die, and you have someone drop supers on you, and every fucking person's going to have a great time. So you have to measure the content.
Then you have FCs like me, is if I can kill one, I'm taking the fight. But if I can't kill one, I'm
If I run into a superior force, normally I will shit talk the FC as well, but with 50 downships.
Yeah, actually, Jay makes a good point there that
There's so much contract starving in Europe,
that people are willing to meet terms just to get their guys to fight. They haven't formed up a home response fleet of like 100 guys, 100 pilots to be more neutral about it.
Let's go ahead.
To
For a while.
oh, sorry.
This is actually something I like to ask FC's or leadership whenever I get the chance to, and I'd like to get the NPSI point of view from it. New players, new fleet members, people that are, let's say, playing the game for less than a month and don't know what the fuck, people who have never been on an NPSI realm and don't know what's going on. How do you deal with those people without slowing the fleet down and
With a hammer.
yeah.
In some cases, GG will actually, if they go to redemption, GG has a whole setup for that, and it works really well. Ganked, we have less. In fact, we have no setup for that. We would just, I would just ask, we've got any new bros here, anyone who hasn't been on one of these rounds, just give them a quick rundown of what we were doing, what to expect, and what to deal with if, we die. If and when we die. If and when they die and they're on their own, what do they do? How do they get back to us? Just a little brief. I changed that up ever so slightly every time I was asked. There was always a point that I would add because I, never really considered it until somebody asked me a brand new question.
So like redemption